Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, Tabitha Odegaard. Always a pleasure to be with you every week. We do a show once a week and try to bring you information, and different organizations come in to talk about what they've got going on, and we think we've got two groups that's got some good information for you today, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Well, you've been leaving me hanging, been sick, and
I've been busy.
Feeling better? Getting along better now?
I feel great.
Do you? Well, good. I'm glad you're back today. And
Thank you.
Missed you on the show last week.
Well, I missed you guys too.
How's everything going out to fitness? Well, you're kind of doing two things now. You're doing the fitness center, morning classes, afternoon classes, and then during the day you're actually cutting hair down at Classic Cuts.
Yeah, down at Classic
Congratulations.
Cuts. Yeah, thank you.
So kind of during the day you do work at Classic Cuts, and then you do your morning and afternoon classes.
That's right. Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Working out good?
I love it. The girls are great down there.
And you get to meet a lot of people both places.
Absolutely.
A lot of different people.
There's a lot of good people out there, I've come to realize.
That's good. That's
perfect.
I'm
having fun. How's the golfing?
Too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's golf season's pretty well over for me. I don't like to play golf when it's much under 55, 60 degrees.
Are there still people out there playing golf at this time?
Yeah, a lot of people do in the winter. A lot of the people that belong out there have covers over their cars, so you have little heaters in them.
Oh, nice.
So you get out and hit your ball, get back in the cart, and go on to the next place.
Well, you just...
But I'm not much.
Too much of a wuss like that?
I guess I am. I don't even like
I'm
winter.
teasing.
I don't even like winter.
Oh, I know. So, I hear you there.
So anyway, my golfing's pretty well over till the spring.
Gotcha.
I don't do that anymore. Listen, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to talk to a lady that's going to tell us about tobacco use and the prevention of it on Connection.
For 22 years, Harrison Parks and Rec has been making a positive impact on our local economy with the Community First Bank Sports Complex, the Brandon Burlsworth Youth Center, and the First National Bank Soccer Complex. A wide variety of sports tournaments are possible, and thanks to these quality facilities, teams, coaches, family, and fans from all around the state and region have helped boost our local economy by $2 million annually. Harrison Parks and Rec, making an impact for our kids and community.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our first guest in the studio today is Tawana Manning. Did I say that correctly?
You sure did.
Very good. Tawana, we're glad to have you here. First time Tawana's been on our show, and so we're glad that you're coming in today. Talk about tobacco prevention education, and which I think is very, very important. Tobacco use, particularly young people getting hooked on tobacco products, whether it's dipping or smoking or whatever. Not a good situation. So anyway, we're glad she's going to tell us some information about it today.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess let's start off with our first question. What are the health effects of tobacco use as far as Arkansas goes, since we're in the state of Arkansas?
Right. Well, nationally, we hear a lot of national news. But just in the state of Arkansas, we are 49th in adult cigarette rate. That's pretty sad.
49th.
49th.
Wow.
That means we have a lot of folks using tobacco. And each year, 4,900 people die in Arkansas, nationwide, from smoking. And in Arkansas, it's even rougher. 14 Arkansans die every day from tobacco use.
Every day?
Every day, 14.
Wow.
So, that's enough reason right there to educate folks on tobacco prevention and to get them hooked up with cessation services.
Right, right.
What is cessation services?
Yeah, tell a little bit about
Cessation services are just ways to quit tobacco. There are a lot of services out there. The main one being the Arkansas Tobacco Quit Line, and that is the easiest number in the world to remember. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW. And folks can call that line. They are hooked up with a tobacco coach. A quit coach is what they're called. And they receive services. There's even funds available for free nicotine replacement therapy products. And the coaches are well trained and versed in, are you really ready to quit? That kind of thing. So there's also apps. There is even an app for those that like bowling. It's called Strike to Quit, if they want to look that up. And
Put the app on their phone.
and so there's just all kinds of things out there for folks who wish to quit tobacco. And the funny thing is, studies show 70% of folks want to quit tobacco, but most of them are scared and nervous because they don't know where to go to start that process. Because it's easy to find the resources, it's very hard to quit. It usually takes multiple times for someone to actually stop tobacco use.
Yeah.
And they probably think it's expensive too. I know if you go to the doctor and you don't have health insurance, or maybe it's not even covered, some of that medication that they prescribe
Right.
to help you get off of it is very expensive.
And that's where the Quit Line comes in very helpful, because they have funds available through the Master Tobacco Settlement Funds. The state pushes those toward prevention, and that Quit Line's funded, and there's monies toward the free replacements.
What's that number again? I know it was really easy, but
1-800-QUIT-NOW.
1-800-QUIT-NOW. So there's
Easy,
no
easy to
excuse.
remember. That's a good
Yes, it is.
in the state of Arkansas, if I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, the money, a lot of this money came from a big settlement with the tobacco industry. Is that
Yes.
correct? It was a national thing.
Yes.
Each state got so much.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're fortunate that Arkansas uses the majority of that money back into health prevention of disease, chronic disease, tobacco prevention, that kind of thing. Some states, because there is no directive of how that money is to be allotted, so some states use it for different things, but we are very fortunate that Arkansas uses so much of it.
They earmarked a lot of that
Yes,
for tobacco
yes.
prevention. That's great.
What do you think the economic impact is for Arkansas?
Oh goodness, it's bleak, because tobacco alone, we're not just talking about the price of tobacco that the folks are spending on tobacco. We're talking about the ramifications of health diseases, that kind of thing. And there's a tax burden of government expenditures of $554 per household when it comes to tobacco.
Really.
Yes, and the
Is that
annual
annualized? Okay.
and then the annual health care costs, and this is just for smoking. This is not for dip or pipes or the new e-cigarette, that kind of thing. It's $812 million annually is spent, because of tobacco, and it's preventable deaths, most of it.
You know, you see, I know Arkansas's got a real heavy tax on their cigarettes, and
Yes.
tobacco products in Arkansas, and it's kind of a twofold thing. They really wanted it to try to slow it down, in other words, make it more expensive. But I mean, literally, I don't smoke, never have, but the cost of cigarettes per pack is around $5 a pack.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
think about
Wow.
it. Every time you take them, and talking about the economic impact, you think about families that really need the money for food and for their children, but if you're hooked on it, you're going to go get it. You're going to go buy it.
Yeah, it's a sad
And it
situation.
really is a sad situation. And that's not even counting the fact that after a long period of time, or even a short period of time, in some instances, the
Health issues.
Yeah, the health issues, and
And
they,
then you
if they
got
don't
more
have
bills.
insurance or whatever. So there's kind of a ripple effect
It
of this
is.
whole thing.
And the tobacco companies, we call them big tobacco, they are well aware of the fact that they've got to market somebody.
Right.
So they're out there marketing and spending millions and millions. Just in Arkansas alone, the tobacco companies spent $107.4 million on advertising and marketing. And they're marketing mostly to the low-income folks. And the reasoning is pretty silly, if you ask me. In their documents that were released during the Master Tobacco Settlement, that lawsuit, some of those documents we're going to market to these people because we think they're dumb, and we're going to get them hooked, and then they're going to stay hooked. And that's just a silly way to look at human beings. you know.
Before we run, we're moving along here, and you tell them a lot of good. Let's jump on down on some of these questions.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about the Teen Summit and
Okay.
because you got about 4 minutes.
Okay, some of these funds are spent on the Boone County Teen Summit. Each year we do one of those, sponsored by the Substance Abuse Prevention Committee, which is a subcommittee of Boone County Hometown Health. And all the area schools, all Boone County schools, are invited, eighth grade students, are invited to the Duran Center for a day of prevention. Tobacco is heavily marketed, prevention is heavily marketed during there, and we try to do things that will grab their attention. For instance, this year we had some videos, and one showed a glass, and they were pouring acetone, formaldehyde, all these ingredients that is in that cigarette into that glass, and then it said, "Here's your drink."
Yeah.
You know. So we try to find things that really market those teens. We also, for the prevention area, we also heavily educate on Act 811, which that law says that it's against the law to smoke in a vehicle with a child under 14. And, you know, it started out with child 6 and under. So Arkansas has really come away in that.
Good deal.
And then we have youth and young adult coalitions that are very active in tobacco prevention control areas. We have a young girl at the Harrison Junior High who is now on the state youth board for tobacco control, and she does a wonderful job with that. We also just had a North Arkansas college student who won in the area of the marketing for youth. There is a contest called Counter Tobacco Contest, and what we do is go out and find pictures in stores where tobacco is marketed, and is it appealing to youth? Are they doing it to even younger children? And she found a wonderful picture of e-cigarettes being marketed right next to candy and that kind of thing. So these youth are out there really being engaged, and which is a good thing, because according to the Arkansas Prevention Needs Assessment Survey given to 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th graders every year, that shows that Boone County is above the state average when it comes to tobacco use. So we really need to fund these tobacco prevention programs.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that's a good
absolutely.
We're down to about the last minute.
Okay.
One thing I know in Arkansas, you have to be 18, is it, to
Yes.
purchase? And ATF, which is Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms Division of Government, they send out people. They'll take a girl that looks like or could be 16. They'll send them in, and the agent will go in behind, and they'll see if they can buy the cigarettes. And if you sell it to them, there's heavy fines, and you can lose your tobacco license and everything. So they really do
Good
try to
deal.
prevent, which is good. Listen, Tawana, we
you
appreciate it.
so
Kind of run
much.
out of time. You had great information here. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you or talk about it, where can they contact you?
I am housed at the Harrison School District's Administration Building. That number is 741-7600, and they can always reach me there. And I'd be glad to hook them up with even a fax referral system
Okay, very
to get cessation services and get that quit
That's very good.
on the road.
Very good. Tawana, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for, a subject like this is something that you really want to keep getting the information out there to young people
Absolutely.
and to parents that have young people that, so hopefully we touch some people out there that don't realize the impact of the cost, the health, whatever, of
Right.
tobacco use, any kind of tobacco use. Thank you. Good luck with your program over at Harrison School District, and keep educating these young people. Maybe
Okay.
some point in time we can get it down to a minimal
Yes.
where it's don't have. Tawana Manning with us today. We're talking about tobacco prevention, and particularly with young people and adults. So I hope you got some good information from Tawana. We did, certainly. Stay with us. We'll be back for the second half of our show in just a moment.
Harrison, Arkansas, a town where business is personal. A Health Mart town. Pharmacist Tara Wilmot owns her Health Mart pharmacy. Here, Tara offers free one-on-one prescription medication consultations, providing information to customers in a way that makes them feel comfortable, not confused. Expert knowledge, personal attention. It's what makes Tara a Health Mart pharmacist and Harrison a Health Mart town. Your town is a Health Mart town. So visit your locally owned Health Mart today.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television, Dennis King and Tabitha Odegaard. Thanks for joining us today on our weekly show that brings different organizations and people into the studio and hopefully telling you information you may not know or you might have forgotten or maybe you never did know about it, like we don't know a lot of times.
I get a lot
in
of
fact, the
information.
program we're getting ready to talk to Karen Ketchum in the studio today, and it's called Call.
Yes.
How you like the way I said
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that's.
Karen,
I'm
thank
glad
you.
you said it and not me, because I would have been a tongue twister.
Thanks for coming in the studio
Yes,
today.
Karen,
We
thank you so
appreciate it very
much.
much, and for contacting us here and wanting to tell people about this program. In fact,
Absolutely.
she's got the T-shirt on.
Yeah,
right
what
there.
is all? What is Call?
The Call is Children of Arkansas Loved for a Lifetime, and it's a nonprofit organization that seeks to mobilize the Christian community to provide a future and a hope for children in foster care in Arkansas.
Wow. We're going to go down through some questions here. Where did the program start? I mean, how did it get started, this Call program?
Well, in 2007 in Pulaski County, there was a foster parent who knew of the great need for more foster parents. And so she says it was a God idea to make this model that would work in any county in Arkansas. And we worked together with DCFS, which is the Division of Children and Family Services. We have a partnership with them where we support them in their efforts to recruit and train foster and adoptive homes. And so that's where that started.
Started there. So it started in Pulaski County. Actually,
Yes.
So is there programs out there nationally similar to this, or I mean,
No,
is this-
actually, it's an unprecedented model that has started in Arkansas that's being looked at actually by several other states.
Okay.
As something possibly where the faith-based community can work together with the state to improve the numbers of foster homes that we might have to place children in.
Wow. So how in Boone County, is there a big need
Is
in
there a
Boone
big
County?
need?
Yeah.
There's actually a huge need, and a lot of people are not aware that we have, at my last check, 63 foster children from Boone County.
Wow.
But they're not all in Boone County because we only have 6 foster homes. So 86% of the children are spread all over the state of Arkansas from one end to the other. And, you know, that causes more trauma to the child from just
Absolutely.
being taken from the home, but also their community, their church, their school. And so we're really working to try to improve those numbers for the children.
Gosh, that is a very small number.
What would somebody have to do to help out, and maybe they do want to foster somebody?
Well, they just need to connect with us either through the state website. We are on Facebook as well. We have an email address. I can give that to you. Is Boone County at thecallinarkansas.org. The website is www.thecallinarkansas.org. Our Facebook page will keep you updated on the things that are going on, and we receive messages quite often through Facebook that we check regularly.
What are the qualifications that somebody might have to be able to do that?
To foster or adopt.
Yeah.
There's several qualifications. There's age qualifications. For example, you have to be at least 21. And then you can be a single person to foster. You can be a married couple. Cohabitating is not approved in the state of Arkansas. And then there's other qualifications that go on from there, but we will have an informational meeting that people can come to and find out every detail like that and see how they can get involved with the program and help either in that way, or there's many other volunteer options for people.
Interesting.
So you really work close with the Division of Children and Family Services, who I could see why they would, because of that's where it's kind
Right.
of all funneled through that. What about DHS? Is that the same type of thing?
DHS is the parent group for the Division
For
of
the
Children and
division.
Family
Okay, I thought it
Services.
was. So that's
Mhm.
kind of underneath the
It
DHS.
is, yes, and we have a very good relationship with our local partners here because several of us on our committee were foster parents and have adopted, and so we already had those connections with those people, and we have a really good working relationship, and they're very excited to see the call actually come to Boone County.
Wow.
So you have adopted
No,
kid?
I was going to.
Actually, yes, we adopted a sibling group of 2 last year. 5-year-old, well, at the time he was 4 and she was 2.
Oh wow, little small ones.
Yeah.
Brother and
Do you
sister.
did you have other children, or is this the only 2 children that you have?
We have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Oh wow, so
Yeah, it's
big spread
biological.
difference.
Yeah.
I see. Wow.
We fostered for 4 years and then adopted.
Is it going well? I mean, do they? I mean, I know they're going to have issues, but I mean, are they not normal kids?
They have adjusted very
Okay,
well.
Thank you.
They have, it's difficult for any
Sure.
child to go through foster care, but when they have a loving Christian home to go into, it makes the transition so much easier. And then there are times when children need a little bit of counseling to get through that process and all of the changes that are taking place. And so we took advantage of some of the counseling that was available, but they're well adjusted now, and they know that they're adopted, and we plan to answer any questions that they have along the way, and just they're part of the family.
Oh, that's
So.
wonderful.
You know, I would assume that the younger the better, right?
I would think so. Yes.
Is that true? I've always heard that, but I mean, the younger, they don't have as much past history, but I guess it could also be traumatic for them
It
on the other
is.
side of
It
the...
is actually traumatic at any age.
Okay.
The thing that I find interesting, we have another board member, Laura Stevens, who's adopted 4 children, and she adopted a teenager first. And what a blessing he has been to that family. And so I'm finding that teenagers know their need and are very much appreciative of the family that they would be given. And so there's blessings at any age. There's a big need in the state of Arkansas for sibling groups and teenagers to be adopted.
You mentioned that this is faith-based type
Yes.
thing. Is there any particular church or churches that are behind this in Boone County? I mean, are all of them? I mean, I guess I'm
This
just...
did not come out of one church or denomination.
Okay.
This is the body of Christ
Okay.
standing up together. We do have churches that we have already began partnering with, and those churches will hold the informational meetings in their churches as well as the training sessions. But we are looking for partner churches of every religion, every denomination and background. We just want the body of Christ to
Right.
answer the need, and so that's what
Do you have events that you have planned?
Yeah.
we
coming up?
have a lot of things going on. We'll be meeting with DCFS to DCFS Call Summit, where we will lay out the plan of how we will do this and how we'll work together, the nitty-gritty details. But as far as the community is concerned, we have our launch celebration, which we have been working towards for over a year to get to this point, and that will be January 5th.
Oh,
And we're very excited about that. This is Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m., and that's going to be out at the 12 Oaks Estate
on Highway 7
on
South.
7 South. And
Do you-
everyone is invited to that.
Do you need any volunteers to help you guys out?
We need lots of volunteers, and we post those on our Facebook page
Okay.
from time to time. Right now, we have a great need for trainers. Foster and adoptive parents have to go through 30 hours of training after they've done their background checks and such. And we have 2 trainers right now that have gone through training, but our coordinator would like to have a lot more.
When you say training, what kind of training do they go through?
There's a state training that's called Pride and Pride training, and it's for foster and adoptive parents to kind of give them an introduction to what these children go through and how to better equip yourself to meet their needs and to deal with their emotional mood swings at times.
Right.
So.
Well, if somebody wanted to donate to the ministry and help out, how would they go about doing that?
The best way right now is to go on the statewide website, and there's a little donate button there. And if you want to donate to Boone County specifically, there's a place to indicate that.
Okay.
And it goes directly into the Boone County Fund there in Little Rock. We also have a post office box if they want to mail a check to us directly, and then we'll get it to Little Rock. So that's a couple of ways.
How would somebody, if I wanted to get into this, how would I sign up? How would I get involved?
Well, I would hope you would come to our launch celebration and find out everything about the call and what we've been working on. Secondly, we'll have an informational meeting, and that's January 13th. The location we still are working on, but that will be in one of our partner churches, and that will be a Monday evening thing. It will last for a couple of hours, and that's where we'll detail what's involved, how you go through the process. We'll start you out with paperwork that you can start working on and set you up with a class that you can go to and that kind of thing. So that would be the first step if you're going to follow through this process, is January 13th.
January 13th.
Get started, okay. You've already asked about the volunteers. Is there anything else? We got a couple minutes.
Is there anything else that anybody would need to know?
You need to tell people about this program, anything that we've missed? Okay. Real quickly, understanding of foster care. Okay, if I'm a foster parent, the child actually comes into the home, stays. Then what is the next step if you want to adopt them? Then that would be down the road?
Well,
could the child always just be a foster child to their adults?
Yes.
Okay.
Children come into care with the goal of reunification with their parents. Every child's goal when they come in is to reunify with their parents, and so a foster parent's job is to support reunification. We are not looking for adoption when a child comes into our home.
Okay.
Long term, in the end, some children do not go home, and that's a sad thing. We hope that they will, but those are the cases that add to the number in the state of about 500 children who are available for adoption. And so that turns into a different situation at that point.
Okay. Well, we've actually run out of time. Very interesting subject here, and something that people probably hear about and think about it, but could actually get involved and be foster parents for children out there that don't have a place to be. And so, okay, one last time, if somebody wanted to call and ask, would they call your number or would they call a different number?
We have a phone number now for the call, and it's 870-518-9209. They could call us directly and ask anything that, any questions that they might have.
And also, want to mention, the website is www.thecallinarkansas.org. You can go in there and get lots of information. Karen, thank you so much for coming in today. Very interesting subject, something that's touches a lot of people, I'm sure. And we appreciate your hard work and hope that everything goes well for your kickoff in January for your meeting.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Karen Ketchum in the studio today to talk about a program called CALL, and that is Children of Arkansas Loved for a Lifetime. Something that's very important, and if you'd like to get involved, you can get a hold of Karen or go to the website, and they certainly need volunteers, and lots of them. So we appreciate you being with us today. Thanks for being back on the show with me. It's always glad to have Tabitha with me. It makes the show so much better. She's the real star. I'm just here just to kind of ask questions once in a while. Thanks for joining us on the show. We'll see you again next week.
Local television worth watching. KTKO Channel 8.